Ma'am, answer here in our opposition today. Our motion is as following: as a middle-class parent, this house would support their child's choice to deprioritize formal education in favor of pursuing digital creative skills or career. Ma'am answers, nowadays, people are having little difficulty of finding jobs caused by the flexibility criteria or even started to support the existence of creative industry in the career world. By fulfilling one's criteria, they can already given the job and position by the company's workplace. However, by creating much freedom such as choosing their career freely could impact in an imbalanced system. The previous video has stated that the problem of if people not choosing freely and this kind of parenting's benefit when the child is given the chance to choose freely and it will maximize their potential. While it is true that freedom would increase the percentage of the child's brain to develop maximally, there are other percentage and another chance or another problems opposing the Prime Minister's argument. In Indonesia itself, formal education consists of early childhood education, 6 years of primary school, 3 years of junior secondary school, 3 years of senior secondary school, and higher education. The country's higher education system comprises universities, institutes, schools of higher learning, academies, and polytechnics. Indonesia's education system has made incremental improvement over the past decade through a steady age of compulsory education and thus increasing the number of students in primary and secondary education, thus resulting in increasing number of upcoming scholars. While knowledge is important, it is also necessary for us to improve their skills. By having formal education, they will not only learn but also practicing with other different types of friends that could help them to adapt and know more types of intelligence. The essence of formal education, though, is not to be successful but to be educated. Education creates a change in the way of thinking and in an individual's ability to deal with challenges and achieve desired goal. It is also make us easier to examine our own thoughts and ideas and express them in various forms. Simply put, formal education is learning that is taught by trained teachers in an intentional, systematic way in an educational institution such as primary school, secondary school, or university. In addition, various organizations regulate formal education in particular country. Education is strongly backed by public sources and is universally acknowledged as a key factor in future economic success. The majority of this funding is targeted at conventional industry and education. However, numerous studies highlight the value of creativity education as a crucial component for innovation and future development. The public support for the creative industries is, however, still in its infancy, and the majority of the policy measures that have been put in place have not yet been well assessed and understood. There is a clear need to look much more closely at the ways that public education affects creative industry than what policies may be put in place to increase these benefits over time. Creative industry work in the basis of a different principle than traditional industries. Compared to traditional sectors where a significant role play big enterprises, in creative industry dominate self-employed entrepreneurs and small businesses. Their number varies according to different types of industry. There are sectors of creative industry where the proportion of self-employers is 2 times higher than the number of self-employers in traditional sectors. Moving to our next agenda, I will state the issue regarding letting parents not to support their child to prioritizing formal education. The first argument is cultural barriers are in many aspects more difficult for children to overcome in unprivileged communities than financial poverty. It is a cultural barrier characterized by low ambitions, skepticism toward education, and the conviction that such pursuits are made by and for others are therefore likely to disappoint. Therefore, it is crucial for us to make sure the child is living in diverse environment that allows them to explore. In addition to education, skills should be investigated. And how can one obtain it? Skills are multifaceted talents that can be gained. We should not adopt a systemic perspective to comprehend them as components of the same ecosystem, since the skills development system and the education system are not distinct from one to another. Adolescents primarily learning skill through formal institutions like school or training facilities. It is clear that teenagers in Indonesia primarily acquire skills through the school's education system, despite the fact that peer and family networks as well as community-based organizations are significant routes through which skills are gained. The second argument is in all three research sites, role models, parents, teachers, peers, or family members play a significant role as enablers. Teenagers' aspirations are guided and shaped by them, and they are inspired to learn new skills. Institutions like the household and the classroom were important enablers of the development of skills. Adolescents are exposed to fresh learning possibilities and are instilled with a drive to learn thanks in large part of this institution. One of the important factors enabling teenagers to acquire job-related skills and find employment is the strong ties between government training institutes and employers. Key accelerators for expanding access to skills are local government policies that train locally in specific skills. The third argument is according to parents, teachers, government representatives, and some teenagers, financial restrictions have emerged as a major barrier to development of skills. Peer pressure and unhealthy dependency on social media and technology and bullying were also cited by teenagers, parents, and teachers as major obstacles. Adolescents from vulnerable groups are disproportionately affected by this obstacle, which worsens social exclusion. For instance, talks with teenagers who were not in school emphasized how peer pressure, substance misuse, and a lack of family support contributed to youngsters leaving formal education systems. And the last argument is a key topic that kept coming up during conversations about skills versus gender. While there was broad consensus that boys and girls should have comparable talents and equal opportunity to obtain them in theory, the study's findings revealed that the predominant belief was the expectation of men and women differ actually. In group talks with parents and teachers, this concept emerged clearly. In group talks with parents from various locations, for instance, the notion that boys should mature into financially responsible adults or the notion that higher education for girls is more of a luxury than a need regularly come out. Teachers shared this opinion as well. However, in group talks with teenagers, different gendered expectations were not raised. Here are my arguments today. I hope you can understand it. Thank you.